consequence. Say it aloud. Use that evidence. Place it around. Don't cry. Watch it as it goes.
Yeah, my dog is at 6:32, November 26th. I hope everyone's feeling well. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. I'm a founding partner of T3, and I'm also the founding partner of Red Dog Mindset. This is the 6:30 Club. This is where I go over the keys to the day, some levels to navigate, some things I'm focusing on. I try and make you some money. I've been doing this pretty much for free since 2020. It's 2025. Some of you guys are in the alpha team with me on Redler All Access. Some of you just kind of chill out here in the morning, or some try to get your mind right with Red Dog Mindset early in the morning. I've already done my workout, my 25-20s in the bag, drinking my iced coffee, feeling good, thinking about what I got to do for the day, having some gratitude that Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Hopefully everyone's feeling well. Let me say hello to some of my doggies we got going on. We got M. Senny in the house. Good morning from Belmore, Long Island. My wife's from Merrick. Mike Pag says, good morning. Thankful for you. I'm thankful for you to tune in. What up, Jack Reed? What up, Nappy? What up, Adam? What's up, guys? Get it done. I love seeing the consistent names. Consistency is key in the market. Routine, process, plan. Routine, process, plan. It's kind of like lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. No, I'm kidding. I just watched Wizard of Oz with my nephew. I love the Wizard of Oz. My dad actually went to Vegas. And he saw the Wizard of Oz in the sphere. He's like, oh my God, isn't that so cool? 81 years old, you get a new experience still. Life's all about new experiences and having some fun and figuring it out. Good morning, Rick Freeman. How you doing? First of all, thank you for whoever tuned into the webinar on Monday night. Monday night, I told some veteran stories about my last 28 years. For those who are young, who have just been started to trade a few years ago, you have no idea about the past, about the history. So anyway, with that being said, here we are. Look at this. Oh my goodness, how did this happen? The SPYs are up 222. It's 677. 677. How did you do the last 4 days? Were you opinionated? Did you make adjustments? Did you move your feet, right? If you look here at the chart of the SPYs, this was tough. Remember this day last Thursday? This wide range bar, which was just like October 10th. That's when everyone thought the market was over, the world was going to fall apart. And guess what? This day got me out of a lot of my longs, and I lost a decent amount of money that day, but at least I followed my process and plan. But guess what? Right here, red dog reversal. Look, this is Thursday's low. This is 651.89. Could we have went to 634? We could have. But what did we do? We went below 651.89, hit 650.85, and reclaimed it. So if you sold into strength, or sold when you didn't hold a prior high, or sold here, or even got so short on this day, that was the day to make a decision. That was the day to say, hey, there's no downside follow through. Maybe it's a feeble bounce. Maybe it's more than a feeble bounce. But P.S., we took back this spot. I know there I was a little lost. I didn't know what would lead what. I was like, let me just play the SPYs and the Qs, and that's all I did on Friday because I was in cash. And then all of a sudden you had a decent move. This was kind of like 50%. So right there, I'm like, you know what? This isn't just a feeble bounce where we're getting controlled by here to go lower. And then look what happened on Monday. Power, right? Above Friday's high Monday. And then yesterday, I'm like, are we going to hold 664-ish? We held 664-ish and then took out Monday's high at 670. And all of a sudden, here we are at 677. So if you want to say, how did this happen? It happened pretty methodically. When I'm in the 25-20, I talk about stacking days, making some good decisions, making some money, feeling good, getting your mind right. Well, the last 4 days for me, I needed, and there's been a lot of really good trades that I've had here with you at, the 630 Club. One of them was Meta. First time I've really played Meta in a while, and it doesn't look like much, but this was a really good trade. Some guys were long versus 581. I was saying to you guys, if it gets above 602, 604, even Conrad like carved it out of the 630 club. I'm like, remember, I'm here to frame trades for you. That's what I do for a living. I frame trades. Someone's like, hey, Red Dog, could you look at this? How can I play it? I'll give you ways to play it and define it. And sometimes I'll do it, sometimes I won't. But anyway, Meta wound up going to my 630 target. I sold it. So 602-ish. Actually, I got in a 598 that day to 629. That's a nice trade. Anyway, Meta's up a little bit today. It's at 639, just like that. I would make sure to trim some into that strength. So that was a great trade. You know what else was a great trade? Not a great trade, but Apple was decent. Just because I was so prepared. I was involved in some options. I had the 277 halves. I had the 280s. I went over this on the spaces with my dogs, with options, Mike, and this and that. And that was a nice little trade. It got through 277. I went after it fast, trimmed into it. I still have some. Apple it could have been better, but hey, it's the market. It is what it is. That was decent. I'm still in it. Maybe that's a more Friday trade. Yesterday, first day in a while, I made money in Microsoft, just because I'm like, you know what? It just feels like it's putting in a bottom tail again. It hit 464. I bought the 480 calls while it was down $1.50 yesterday, and I also bought the shares. And what's Microsoft doing today? Microsoft was up a bunch. It's up 217. So that's a nice little trade. Little trades add up. So that was good. Another different type of name. I also talked about buying Tesla. Remember, I was buying Tesla at like 402 or 407. And then a lot of people like yesterday, Tesla's horrible. I'm like, it was up 26 points. Have a little perspective. It might need a day. So meanwhile, Tesla gave you an inside day right there. And I sold some puts. I sold some 405 puts to collect because I'm like, if I'm wrong, it's going to go below 402, but I don't want to pay up. So I sold puts. So I'm going to collect there. I bought some calls. And I'm in some stocks. So Tesla right now is making me feel good. Tesla's up 5. Ching. That's awesome. Thank goodness. I even said to guys yesterday, I'm like, guys, we should go home long Tesla because a lot of people probably are getting away from it yesterday, and today's the day. So if you look, it's up at 424, above 422. This is 429. This should be a spot where, maybe it gets above, maybe it doesn't, right? This is 428. So this is going to be a key spot today for Tesla, 429. Does it get above and stay above 429? If so, it opens the door for higher prices. So that's cool. This is the Alpha by the way. This is where I'm trading with all my dogs all day long. They don't see the options yet because the options didn't drop. So basically, that's what I have coming in. A little Apple, a little Microsoft, a little Tesla, a little Amazon, a little Rivian, a little IBIT, and Ethereum. I still think Ethereum and IBIT are okay. They're obviously lagging, but I don't think they're going to explode, but they're down a little bit. I think they can go a little bit more. But anyway, I hate to say it, but bull finally popped. You could say it. It's all right. From 14 down to 840, what did popped to $9? Okay. Did your cost average down the whole time, or did you use your process? Anyway, so Tesla 429 will be an interesting spot to see if it gets through. Again, day 4 is a day you want to trim. You don't want to start new positions. You don't. You missed it. Day count rules. I'm going to post my day count rules. Usually you buy day 1, you add day 2, you trim into day 3, and day 4, if you're still in a lot of things, that's awesome. If you're not, you're probably upset about all the things you had on day 1 and day 2. But anyway, let's take a closer look here. So this is Tesla. All these numbers mean something. So above here, this is 429, and here's 442. Here's 449. This was your low. This was your higher low. So a little inside action. Yeah, not so bad. I have options. So we'll see. We'll see if it holds up there. Anyway, what else? Google, really, really, really big move. Showed a lot of leadership. Showed you that if the market was that weak, they want to let that happen. It's a little extended here. Some guys made some money, shorting it yesterday, and some trading it. I'm not in there right now. It's a little tough. So you guys want me to look at Reddit? I went over Reddit yesterday. Look, that's a nice candle yesterday. That would have been your day. Here it kind of reclaimed and rebuilt, and this was a nice candle. Is it up today, giving you some follow through? I hope so. You deserve it if you're in it. All right, maybe. So it's down 48 cents. This is a big candle, so I might need to digest that a little bit. What's this high here? This high here is 219.80. 219.80. Decent. Looks good. No, it's back above all the moving averages. if you got out of it, when it did this topping tail up here into strength, or when it broke the 8 and 21 day, kind of rebuilt. So yeah, it looks like it's something. I think Reddit's, awesome, to be honest. It's not just Wall Street Bets. I told you when I had my heart surgery a year and a half ago, there was this whole group about the mitral valve. I learned a lot there. Wolf had a big day yesterday. A lot of things, a lot of things had, good days. If you were short on them, the whole thing is a lot of people were short on the brain. And because of what happened last Thursday and didn't realize that, Friday was the first step into a multi-day sequence. And now we just had a multi-day sequence. Anyway, what else? What Joe wants to know my thoughts on NVIDIA. I'm not playing NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a battleground. Yesterday you had a little red dog reversal and went below 172.93. It hit a low of what? That's your new point of reference, 169.55. There's a little room here. I just think there's easier things out there right now. There's too much news. There's too much this, too much that. It's kind of like playing Boeing. That's how much news there is. But anyway, this is when Thursday fell to hold 191. And then some guys made sure you can make money. You can knick-knack it. I'll watch it. So it's down 80 cents today. Obviously, the SPYs are up 220. The Qs are up 280, and it's still lagging. The good thing is that other things can rally while NVIDIA is working through whether or not, they're not the only game in town anymore. They're working through the fact that people are starting to choose Google chips. Maybe they're choosing Amazon chips now. So pricing power is not there. So I'm not smart enough to know. So I'm just going to let it stay over here while I play other patterns that look a little bit, look a little bit more fun to play. It's not a make or break because you're talking, it's a 177. So it already made a lower low. So it could just hang in here and just be, irrelevant, to be honest. So I'm not watching that. IBIT, it's been crushed. I did buy some. I think my stop is right here, 48.47. We'll see. Word is that the Treasury needs to buy some there, to support some price. I don't know. Talk to Tom Lee. Tell Tom Lee to fix his computer, because the reason why Ethereum and Bitcoin are down is because of a computer glitch. I'm kidding. Anyway, so this is 48.33. As long as it holds this 48.57, I'll stay in it, and maybe there'll be some kind of move back towards the 8-day. It's not a focus. Ethereum's not a focus either. I have both of them. Little bottom tail, little doji, got above it, inside action. My stop is 26.50. So those are just tactical things to do. I'm not looking at, Bitcoin going back to 150,000 or 200,000 and saying ridiculous things like some of these guys do out there. I'm just realistic. I try and give a frame trade. So I'm going to frame the trade. You could be an ETHE as long as it holds 26.50, goes sideways, takes out this high here of 28.14. Maybe there's a little bit of a bounce. And I'd rather see you trade Ethereum itself, the ETF, or IBIT versus BMNR or Mister. Those are Fugazi companies that worked once or twice, and now they'll use as cash machines for all these people who are deemed as experts. But anyway, right, Gary? UPST. I'll look at that for you. I haven't looked at UPST in a while. A nice little broken bounce. You know what I went over the other day? Remember earlier I talked about, someone asked me about a January effect name. I thought CMG. I kind of missed it. I was trying to bid for options like a jerk. Meanwhile, Chipotle, I figured this would be something that, people might take some tax loss selling. I still go there with Chase. Chase is playing basketball after every workout. He goes there with his team. It's like fresh chicken. It's probably the best takeout you could have that has real protein. So I was like, this could be something for December 15th or January. And now it just had a nice bar. Maybe it tries to fill this gap. Chipotle came down a long way. So anyway, there was a trade there yesterday. Congratulations. You know what I bought yesterday? ONON. Just as a trade. Why? Because, if you look here, it had this gap. It was left for dead. Obviously, it didn't fill it. It's going sideways. It's broken. So I'm only in options. Maybe through the holiday, people buy some of the sneakers and it continues to, gain some share, and it's been battered, and this whole sector's kind of sucked. But it did have a pro gap here. It went sideways. So I bought some options 2 weeks out. Haven't done that in a while. I haven't really been playing SanDisk, so I don't really. Iron. So Iron feels like, you had an inside day yesterday. Feels like it's trying to rebuild. I don't think it's going to have a great move like it's had in the past, but for now it's rebuilding. You could be long versus 44.55. It held where it had to. If it were to get above this this spot right here, I would think you could see 50 to 53 before it sees some resistance. It's trying to rebuild, kind of like ASTS, trying to rebuild down here. He had a big move from 40 to 102 before the red dog reversal sell, and now it's really not that exciting. It's trying to rebuild. So Ash Chris says CMG Money sold all my calls yesterday. We'll try and buy back. Nice pullback. If you all right, cool. Anyway, guys, it's 6:47. It's Thanksgiving. I hope everyone's feeling good. Have some gratitude for making strong decisions, strong choices, trying to control what you can control. If you feel like you're not doing as well as you would like to do, then look in the mirror and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Look back at your trades, look at what you've been doing well with, what you've been doing poorly with, and try and take an honest approach. For me, sometimes I feel good. Sometimes I feel like I could do better also. I've been doing this a long time. People like Red Dog, how have you been doing this so long? I know so many people who have burnt out, who have been eaten up and spit out. I'm like, it's just because of my routine and process. I do things that I like. I love waking up early. I drink my water. I did a whole webinar a week and a half ago about my morning process, getting up, hydrating, not looking at the phone, then checking out the news and figuring out what should be going on overseas, where are the futures, what are my positions doing, then going into my sauna and doing a 20-minute workout with my dogs around the world, listening to some 80s rock, thinking about positions, elevating my thought process. I do all that before getting my iced coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, and then I come sit here, log on, do the 6:30 Club, reiterate everything with you guys. Most of you guys have been watching this for free for 5 years. A lot of you guys came from here saying, hey, I can make money watching the 6:30 Club. Why don't I join the Alpha team? I can make a lot more money spending the morning with you. Some of you guys actually subscribed, hit the subscribe button above to Red Dog Mindset because maybe you don't have time to go to the Alpha team with this stuff. Be like, hey, I've been getting value added from the 6:30 Club 5 years. Why don't I spend $10? That's all it is, $10 a month, for me to tune in for the workouts here and there, for me to tune into the public Twitter, for me to tune in for whiteboard weekends. Because at some point, to be honest, in the next year or so, I'm going to be leaving public Twitter, get rid of all the bots, get away from everything, and just have a subscriber-based crew, for a small amount of money, which if you want to be grandfathered in, subscribe above. Anyway, if you don't, that's cool too. Bottom line is it's Wednesday of Thanksgiving. We've had a nice 4 days. The Q's very methodical too. The Q's reclaimed 584.75. That was your Red Dog reversal. Took back this low here, showed some power, opened below it, took out 597. Took out 602. That was this candle right here showed you the power. And then yesterday we held 596. And now all of a sudden, I can't believe we're back at 613 to 615. Just like that. Just like that. If you're like, how did it happen? Well, that's how it happened. It happened methodically. It happened day by day. And it was very tradable. What's my year-to-date return? So everyone loves to ask what my year-to-date return is. I don't even know really how much buying power I have. I just know what I made in the second quarter, the third quarter. I got some nice checks. I did give back some money in October, and I have a whole package here. I have 7 different accounts. I have my 401k, which gets a nice return. I have my wife's 403b. I have my son's 529. I have the Blood in the Street account that went to work twice in the first quarter that's in cash. I have an active account, a swing account. I have all different accounts that I try and just tell you what I'm doing so maybe you could perform well. This year-to-date returns is crap. I'm not a hedge fund. I'm not trying to make 12% versus 8%. I'm here to make a P&L that I can get paid on besides everything else that I do. So if you think I can frame trades for you and help you with your mindset, great. If you don't, that's cool too. Anyway, it's not a perfect science. So those looking for a perfect science, this is not the place to be. I'm just a work in progress. You're a work in progress. And if you feel like, attitudes match up, then we do it together. If not, that's cool too. And I block people every day. I wouldn't block you for asking that. That's a decent question, but I do block people every day the far left gets blocked. The far right gets blocked. Cynicism gets blocked. I have no time listen, I like to be funny and sarcastic, but even on the Alpha team, I don't let sarcasm happen. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think something's a short, this isn't going to end well is not a reason to say it's a short. Say, hey, I'm short versus this for this reason. If you like a long, boom. Or, hey, this is going to zero. No, it's not going to zero. What does it have to get through? Why does it have to go? So I frame things so people could mentally adjust and execute because there's not enough time in the day and everyone's stressed and everyone's got things going on. So I just try and make it as simple as possible because I'm a simple type of guy. With that said, listen, have a great Thanksgiving. Today is Wednesday. I'm going to be working all day. I will do a recap. And then Thursday, I'm going to be in the trails with my dog and my son. I'm going to be watching him play flag football. Going to be based in my turkey. I'll post my thing. I appreciate all you guys for being in my community for so long. You guys are with me. You're in my community. It's good to have friends around the world. And, you see me in the streets, say hello. A lot of people say hello. It's pretty cool. And then I'll stop doing this when I start getting tomatoes thrown at me. I think Kramer starts to get a lot of tomatoes thrown at him, so he doesn't really walk the streets anymore. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, with that said, I appreciate you. Jack, that's cool. Simple is as simple does. Gary says, best $10 he ever spends. That's cool. I appreciate that. Oh, Hood. I think Hood is getting tight. My buddy Mark Sperling, who started me out here in this world of trading back at Broadway and Daytech, he was saying that he likes this setup, that I could see that spot. And if crypto gets better, I could see how if you sold it here at 138, it's rebuilding down here and has some room to 120. What's Hood doing this morning? That's up too. So he's probably happy. That's good. I love it when Sperls is happy. Anyway, with that said, have a great day. I appreciate your time to do my 40 charts for the Alpha team and get my day moving. Good luck today. Day 4 is better to trim and trail than probably initiate new positions. I'll see you later. Doesn't mean everything's an easy short. Just go to the subscribe button above.